And welcome back to Cape Town at the ICC here. And this is, of course, at the Salga, that's the South African Local Government Association's 2022 conference. 25 years of Salga being commemorated as well this year. And joining me now is the outgoing chairperson of Salga, Ms. Aleta Mashego. And we also have with us Mr. Takng, who's a member of the National Executive here at Salga. Ms. Mashego, thanks for your time this morning. So it's been quite an interesting week, very, very interesting deliberations. But as outgoing chairperson, I would imagine you would have had time to reflect on the gains, the challenges during your tenure.
Yes, thank you very much and good morning all. I think, yes, there were experiences that were there and the gains that Salga has done and also achievements that are of note. Amongst others is that of ESCOM, which we know that constitutionally the sections, I think it's section 152, condones that municipalities should provide the electricity and basic essential services. So that was an achievement for us as Salga to achieve that. And also capacitation of councillors. One should also say that it was stifled a bit. There was a memorandum that came from national office, not of Salga, but of the state, saying that councillors could not be capacitated, should not go to school. But I want to say that through Salga, we now have and also are resolving on compulsory capacitation of councillors, and they must take courses of their choice and to ensure that as they exit, they do not become a burden of the state further, but can further develop themselves in their communities where they were deployed in and also the communities where they live in.
What would you say is the one issue that you wish you could have perhaps done better on, resolved during your tenure, that as you exit as Salga chairperson will remain?
There's one thing that I think could have been done better, which is still a challenge. It's the financing model through the section 154 of the MFMA. That you see that we still have limping municipalities, not because of their choice, but because of the status that they found themselves in. One, negative impact of COVID. Two, the looting that has happened. And three, job losses that were there everywhere, including the youth unemployment. Granting them the 350s and other social interventions, yes, granted, we appreciate the state for doing that and government for doing that. But is it going to be sustainable? No. But if and only if we had our way to have a capacity developmental programs for our communities, that would help the councillors that are deployed everywhere around the corner have profiles of their wards and ensure that there's change. There are game changers in ensuring that each and every one stands up. Instead of being a recipient and having that state dependency, they can afford life themselves. They can contribute in the economy. They can pay for services that they are consuming from day to day. I would love to have seen that happening during my term, but it's unfortunate. Time is time. Evolution comes. We are now in coalition governments. Yeah, let's just hope for the best during that tenure.
Well, Mr. Ngubane, as a member of the NEC, just before coming on now, I was reading a tweet from one of our viewers, Owen Simons, and one of the issues that he laments, he says he wishes that Salga could do more in assisting communities in holding councillors accountable. So let's pick up from that point, just in terms of the role of Salga and the expectations from communities.
Well, I'm not sure whether it is the role of Salga to hold councillors responsible. I think the role of Salga is to give the necessary support to the municipality so that municipalities can be effective, can have that ability to be effective in terms of the constitutional mandate. So this support, we play it in different pillars. We represent local government in the IGR, intergovernmental structures, whether in the legislature, we become the voice of local government, but also at a national level through NCOP. So we advocate, we defend, advocate the interest of local government. We ensure that in the decision-making process, we bring that flavor of local government in terms of the space and role of local government. Secondly, we also build capacity on those who are in the political office, but also technically those who are in the administration office. We ensure that we assess in terms of where they are and where they should be. We develop programs of building capacity to actually close that gap of where they should be and where they actually are. But we also assist the municipality in the bargaining chamber. We assume the role of being an employer organization. So municipalities don't have to worry about the issue of negotiations. We take care of that. But also, we're also a knowledge hub. We do some research, study the challenges of the day that are facing municipalities, whether on the finances, whether on the systems, whether how they are actually relating with the municipalities and so on. So we're also a knowledge hub. We go to the market, do the research, we enter into partnership with different stakeholders to ensure that we provide solutions, innovative solutions to the local government. But we also, particularly around the issue of advocating, people must understand there are things that are within the span of control of Salga, but there are also things that needs to be done that lies outside, that are external to the system of Salga, and there we only use the issue of trying to influence. For instance, we expect a certain caliber of councillors to be deployed in municipalities. But such is not within the span of control. It is in the span of control of political parties, which is outside to us. So what we do, we advocate, we talk to political parties on what are the attributes that they must look for when they're actually deploying councillors. So ours is not to hold accountable, it's to give that support. When municipalities are facing challenges, we go there, look at the nature of the challenges, develop tailor-made solutions.
So let me ask it this way to perhaps assist the viewer as well. So what happens, because this was canvassed during the conversations here as well, and we do not have time, so I'm going to have to ask you to keep it short. So what happens in the instance whereby communities, as does indicate this question from Owen right now, communities have a certain expectations from their councillors. They have expectations of Salga, things that are not communicated to them, things that they don't understand. And I heard many, of the people on the floor raising that matter of the education of communities so that they understand many of these things. Where does Salga come in there?
I think it will be important that we clarify the chain of command. Salga is like a union that empowers its members. The members in the context of Salga are municipalities, which is made up of both, in the main, those in the political office, but also those the administrative arm. So ours, we don't communicate directly with the community. That is the function of those who are elected. The councillors.
But you heard your members raise that as well, where they said they think that there should be a little more education on the side of the community as well, because they are at the coalface of this, where their houses get burnt, they are the ones who get killed. So just in terms of that, 15 seconds each, we are out of time.
Yes, indeed. The people who should be playing that role are councillors as public representatives. And if they're not playing that role, it means there is a mismatch. So ourselves as SACA, we are therefore need to design a program that will empower them to play their role as expected, not to usurp the power of councillors as Salga and then go to the communities. We need to equip them so that they can play their role effectively.
Fair point. I think that helps in clarifying the role.
Yeah, I also wanted just to globalize what he has just said, Councillor Ngobani, is that they should prioritize a program, especially the incumbents now, program that deals with civic education, that deals with community participation, and also community ownership on programs.
Okay.
I think that will be antidote to what we've diagnosed as a problem from this conference.
Well, that's unfortunately all that we have time for here this morning. But of course, the conference closes today. There's an election. There will be new office bearers elected. But from us here in Cape Town, for now, we're going to say goodbye from Morning Live. And our guest here is, of course, Masaleta Mashiko, who is the outgoing chairperson. Thanks so much for your service and take care. And still, he'll be around still, is, of course, Mr. Takng Ngubane, who's an NEC member of the South African Local Government Association. With that, it's goodbye from Cape Town.